in the Olympics. It's fighting with 7 other sports to get a shot at the 2020 Olympics. We are broadcasting to you live courtside at the 2013 PST Bottini Fuel World Open. The voice in the background you hear in just a moment is Nathan Tico of the United States, officiating. On court right now, Ricky Weisskopf in the lighter blue shirts of El Salvador. He's a teaching pro at the Greenwich Country Club in Greenwich, Connecticut. Ricky played his squash in the college level at Bates College. He was the first All-American squash player. Really helped build up that squash team. Helped build that squash team up, and it's one of the nation's best. Both the men's and women's team at Bates are among the top 10 now. And he not only is a top college player, but a top international player. He was 4 times national champion of El Salvador as he wins the opening point. Spending more time teaching than playing these days. He isn't on the global circuit. This is actually his first appearance of the season in Pro Squash Tour tournament action. Phil Wilkins with the bandana and the feather shirt and the darker blue is the hometown hero right now. He's the teaching pro here at Live Technology. And you might hear an enthusiastic response from the crowd as he wins the first point of his match. Phil is originally from Wales, has represented Wales in international competition previously. He's a U.S. Squash Level 3 certified coach. There are only about a dozen people in the United States who have that level, top level of certification, a PhD in teaching, if you will, of the sport. Phil certainly knows the game very well, and some of his junior players have gone on to play at the top levels of the collegiate game. Forgive me, the game's now at 3. I was a point behind on the score. Phil's certainly going for it, hitting the ball with some pace and looking for some early winners. Live Technology has hosted several tournaments for the Pro Squash Tour over the course of the past couple of years. They seem to have settled into hosting a smaller tournament and a big, large one at the end of the season. Earlier in the year, Howell Robinson of Wales won the Northeast Open, hosted here at Live Technology. We've got a beautiful facility and very bucolic setting on the banks of Sterling Lake in Tuxedo Park, New York. This high-tech company has a very enthusiastic staff that loves the game of squash, and often before work, during lunch, or at the end of the workday, they'll come on down and have a hit on court. Phil does a great job running the program here, has several people coming in for lessons, and in suburban, almost rural part of New York, Phil's built up quite a community of squash players up here. Going for it yet again and found the tin. Ricky probably be very happy to have that happen for the rest of the match. Ricky's a very smooth player, glides across the court, and even though earlier in this rally wrong-footed himself, he recovered and ended up winning the rally. Left side. Very nice shot from Ricky. 9-4. Pace of this game has been very quick. Both players taking the ball early. The rallies have not been that long. And Ricky jumps out to take game ball in the opening game here. At least for 1 point, Phil's fought it off. Still game ball, but Phil serving at 5-10. Both players working up and down the left rail. And just as I say that, Phil hits a cross court. Few unforced errors by Phil in this game as he finds the tin. Ricky takes the opening game and leads the match 1-0. We'll be back in just a moment.
So we definitely made a commitment to the city and to ourselves for at least 10, 15 years.
We have views all the way from downtown out to Lake Erie.
Being a young professional downtown, this is like the place to be. The energy downtown is amazing.
Playhouse Square, the restaurants are our favorite part.
It's a city that's really coming back and becoming the city to be in.
Phil didn't like the second call and is asking for the referee's decision. Abinant, the decision by the challenge. The decision by the challenge officials is to have the rally replayed. We don't replay many rallies in the professional squash tour. Unlike the historical thresholds to make every effort or to make every effort to clear the ball or make every effort to get the ball. On the pro squash tour, we view it as the players have an obligation to clear their shot and an obligation to get to the ball. So if a player feels that his shot to the front wall has been prevented or his movement to a playable ball has been prevented, he'll appeal to the referee for the point. And the referee will say point to player A or point to player B. In rare cases, we do replay rallies to protect the safety of the players. An example of that is the crowd enthusiastically supports Phil on another winning rally, taking an early lead in game 2. Mistake by Ricky gives Phil a 3-1 advantage. In rare cases, as I was saying, we do replay the rally to protect the safety of the players. And an example of that is a turn at the back glass where a player has lost sight of his opponent and doesn't know where to hit it. Well, Phil has jumped out to a 4-1 lead early in game 2 on the backs of a couple good winning shots and a couple unusual mistakes from Ricky. And Phil is certainly attacking the front of the court, looking for winning opportunities. Ricky would be quite content to have some extended rallies. I think fitness may be the advantage for Ricky Weisskopf. And on that, he has won the most recent rally to bring it up to 2-4. Ricky was able to wrong foot Phil there. And a tight shot from Ricky levels the game at 4-all.
4-all. Right side.
Oh, so smooth by Ricky. Very nice shot. Puts it away, slots it in. Phil knew right away he was in trouble. Of course, Phil counters with a winning shot opportunity of his own. Both of these players really play the game in the right spirit. Honest players. You can trust them both to call their own double bounce or an out-of-court ball. Phil hits a winning shot there. Phil slotted that in nicely. It's really a pleasure to watch both players. The crowd having a laugh as Phil caught himself short of saying a naughty word. I'm very grateful to that. We have a very diverse group of ages in the room today. Some veteran squash fans and some very young squash fans as well. Actually, seated in the front row, I'm seeing the Street Squash Newark kids who've come up from Newark, New Jersey. This is the 4th match out of 8 today. And some of the pros are going to get on court with the Street Squash Newark kids and do a clinic. Get on court with them. We are very interested in supporting the urban squash development programs that have been sprouting up across the United States. Street Squash Newark is one of the newest ones. And the community down there has been very supportive of it. Years ago, squash was viewed as an elitist sport, country club, Ivy League sport. Maybe still carries some of that reputation with it today. But these programs are helping to make the game a little bit more accessible, grow the fan base of it. I think tennis and the sport of golf experienced the same thing a generation and 2 ago. And they were able to expand the base and the participation base of squash, tennis, and golf players. And I think squash can do the same thing. And in many ways, the good work being done by groups like Street Squash Newark is an integral part of doing that, and we want to support them. And I know our pros do as well, and they'll be on court for 20 minutes to half an hour doing a clinic. I'm not sure how much of the background noise you can pick up in the crowd from the crowd, but Phil is the head pro here, and some of his best friends and supporters are giving him a little good-natured ribbing as he's watching game 2 slip away. Phil, of course, not the shy one, gave him a little bit right back. Nice ball from Ricky. Closes out game 2. Winning game 2, 11-8. Ricky takes a 2-0 lead in the match.
Obtaining citizenship should be easy, but it's not. Issues such as time out of the country, past DUI convictions, and other minor criminal convictions can cause serious problems. These problems lengthen the process and can increase the complexity. On the other hand, I have had clients who have obtained citizenship through a parent and didn't know it. My name is Joe Rosen. My immigration law offices have helped many people like you successfully get through the citizenship application process. Our focus is immigration, and as a former FBI agent and a lawyer, I know how government agencies operate. My knowledge and experience will make dealing with the Department of Homeland Security easier for you and could be the difference between getting citizenship or not. Call me at 678-461-6046 to make an appointment for a consultation.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I want to say a thank you to the law offices of Joseph Rosen. He's got a very specialized practice helping golf, tennis, and squash players work out the immigration issues and come to the United States. And as so many clubs across the United States are looking to attract international talent for their squash pros, Joe's office does a great job, and we're thrilled to have his support with the Pro Squash Tour. Give him a little bit of advertising as well along the way. Players actually wear his logo on their shirt sleeves. I also want to say some thanks locally to some of the tour's sponsors. which would include United Check Cashing, DCI Drug Consulting, Keel Heating and Air Conditioning, Cool Cap, Laxton Money Making Machines, Halsa Mat, which you can see at halsamat.com, HALSAMAT.com. Obviously the Live Technology headquarters where we're broadcasting this tournament from, and Bottini Fuel, title sponsor of the 2013 PST Bottini Fuel World Open. Players are on court right now. Ricky Weisskopf in the light blue shirt has a 2-games-to-love lead over Phil Wilkins in the bandana and dark shirt. Phil is sponsored by Feather, and he's wearing their shirt on court today. Ricky has looked so smooth on court, moves effortlessly. Phil has been looking for winning shot opportunities, been very aggressive in his shot making, occasionally clipping the tin, but also occasionally finding some really great, brilliant shots. Both players working up and down the left wall. And once again, as I say that, the ball goes cross court. You may have noticed Phil choking up on the racket as Ricky hit a deep ball. Very interesting how players from across the country, across the world, have different styles. But when the ball gets to the deep glass and players are having trouble or concerned about getting it out, you may see them choke up on the racket to create a smaller pendulum fulcrum. Well, Ricky has jumped out to a very quick 3-love lead here in the third game. Ricky really does look to be in good form on court today. Phil is playing very well as well. Certainly sliding in some nice shots, but Ricky just seems to be moving at too high a speed today. 4-love.
4-love. Right side.
Well, there it is, one of Phil's great shots of the day.
Whoa. 2-4.
Nice job by Phil calling his own ball down. Squash in many ways is a gentleman's game, and it's great to see someone, as many of the pros do, chivalrously making the own call before the referee has to. There's a nice ball by Ricky.
6-2.
Clear winner. Moving out to a very strong 6-2 lead in this third game. 7-2.
7-2.
Ricky's moving very fast in this third game. Has an 8-2 lead now. Phil hoping for some way to get around that, but knows that was Ricky's point. 9-2 lead for Ricky. Where Ricky's facing 7 match balls here, or should I say Phil is facing 7 match balls, and there it is. Phil, I hope we have our echo issues worked out. We'll talk to the camera a little bit here. You were aggressively going to the front early in that match, hitting the ball hard and looking for winning opportunities.
Against Ricky, he just gets everything back, so you get to rhythm and you try to get your length up, but sometimes you've got to take the wrong turn just to kind of get something out of a point. So it wasn't working. should have clicked earlier and just gone back to the basics, but you know, when it's ingrained into your game, it's a very hard thing to get out of, especially when someone like Ricky, just whatever you put in, it comes back with interest. So I think going forward in that game, it was just a case of just trying to get as many points on the board as I can.
Well, you played well in front of a hometown crowd that certainly cheered you on.
No, I appreciate everybody. You know, it goes a long way to say every clap, every cheer, every fist pump. It means a lot to us all. So I know we're delighted to be able to perform in front of all of you, and we thank you every time we play here, whether it be a friendly, a coaching session, or a match. You know, everybody puts their, everybody contributes, and we're grateful for that.
Well, thrilled to have you on court. Ladies and gentlemen, the head pro at Live Technology, Phil Wilkins. Great job. Ricky, we haven't seen you much in the past year, but you came on court and looked to be in good form.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a shame that I haven't been able to play, but I wanted to get a feel for the court. I was telling the ref during the break that I can't remember the last time I played in a court this hot. Yeah. And he probably was right when he said that it was when I was in El Salvador. But no, I was trying to get a feel for the court, so I tried to, you know, very simple game. Try to, you know, Phil, I was lucky that he made a couple of mistakes in the first and the second game, and then in the third I was feeling a little bit more comfortable about the court and was able to go for my shots a little bit better. Now I'm going to have to play a lot better for tomorrow, but looking forward to it.
Well, you look to be in good form today. Congratulations on a good win.
Thanks so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, four-time El Salvador national champion, Ricky Weisskopf. We are halfway through our 8 games. We finished 4 in the round of 16 in the main draw. We are thrilled to have in the front row some of the students at Street Squash Newark. There are a lot of urban development programs that are helping us grow the game of squash, spreading up across the United States. And Phil asked me if we could, halfway through tonight, have a junior clinic with some of the players. So we're going to spend about 20 minutes with the junior players on court, hitting the ball with some of our pros. I hope, and we'll see you a little bit after 7 o'clock and begin the final 4 matches of the day. Thank you. All right, did you just walk in? Oh my God. Well, we're going to have a clinic with some of the kids. Maybe your son wants to get on court and hit a little bit.
Was that better?
It was a little echo still.